All right. Now it is time for Scorpio. Scorpio, February 2021. Man, are you all ready? You know what to do if you want information on scheduling a personal reading. Please look in the description box of the video. That has everything you need to know. I am continuing the same layout I have been using for the past month or two now. I'm going to do a reading for the past person, reading for the current person, and reading for the new person. Okay, no specific order, just which everyone wants to count first is the one we're going to lead with. All right, looks like a bunch of you have already tuned in. Hello, how y'all doing? Danielle, Mother Nature, Yvette, how you doing? What's up, y'all? Ooh, oh man. So honestly, that kind of feels a little bit current. Possibly leaning into past. Okay. Obviously, if this is current, it will soon be past, right? It feels current though, right off the bat, almost like done, just can't do this no more, you know? Throwing in the white towel, so to speak. It kind of seems like it's been coming up a lot for the February readings. I don't know. Let's go ahead and get 5 shuffles here. Current person. 1, 2, and 3 more. 1. Current person for Scorpio, February 2021. Current person. Those of you not dealing with a current person in your life, this is not your reading. Thanks for that super chat, Yvette. Appreciate it. Thank you. Hope I'm saying your name right, by the way. If not, I apologize. Death reversed. Could be another Scorpio that you're dealing with. Okay, I also have Taurus. And I got to try really hard not to call you all Taurus. It seems like I've done that on several different videos. Could be a Leo. Okay, see, this is something I don't really feel like you want to abandon. You have the 5 of Pentacles reversed and the Death reversed. So this honestly feels current, though, and it looks like the person that you're dealing with is deciding to move on from this here. I think you all are both kind of, maybe it's the person you're dealing with throwing in the white towel. I don't know. Take it how it resonates, but could have been a third-party situation for some of you, okay, with the 3 of Cups, 3 of Pentacles reversed right next to each other. Either way, though, when I see that 3 of Pentacles reversed, that simply means not a very good team. Not a very good team. It doesn't necessarily mean this person's right, this person's wrong, or vice versa. You all could both have nothing but the best of intentions, but if we don't work together as a team, those intentions aren't really going to get us anywhere, you know? The 6 of Wands is the underlying energy here. I might have to clarify a few things here because I'm seeing throwing in the white towel and moving on from this, but I'm also seeing not wanting to abandon this and attempting to reconcile. So this could have been a cycle that's kind of been on and off for some of you. Others of you, it's going to be a struggle. One, the other, or both of you doesn't want to move on from this. Somebody, I don't know, I just get a lot of, I want to move on from this, but struggling to try to keep it alive. Okay, but I really feel like there's much more successful things on the horizon if you do move on, is what it looks like here. Okay, 6 of Swords, 6 of Wands. Did I name the major arcana? I think I did. I have Taurus, Leo, Scorpio. Could be anybody, though. This feels pretty intense, pretty heavy. Okay, big time walking on eggshells type of energy here. It could just be that it's gotten to the point now where the two of you can't really communicate without getting into an argument, can't really communicate without, also too, and I just reckon, I can't believe that I almost let this pass me by. That, at least through the first majority of February, it's going to be Mercury retrograde, okay? So, you know that a lot of times, especially now we're in the pre-shadow, and I feel it big time. That's why I decided to look it up. I was like, man, this feels like Mercury retrograde type energy. And I looked it up. Sure enough, we're in the pre-shadow. And so that can cause a lot of communication issues. It can cause a lot of misunderstandings in general. It's real easy if you're not paying attention for a harmless conversation to end up in an argument because miscommunications, misinterpretations, things of that nature. This feels very intense. Very, very, very intense. I don't know where my torch went. I almost want to burn some sage here. I think this one's about out of juice. I want to get some. There we go. It's got a little bit of life left in it. Pulling in some intense energies for you, so. All right. So let's look a little bit more at this person you're dealing with, though. A little bit more, a little bit more. Not dealing with a current person, this is not your reading. If you are dealing with a current person and everything is just fine, this is not your reading. All right? I've said it time and time again, and I'll continue to say it. If everything's fine in your life, I don't want to say you don't need to be here because there's always valuable life advice in these readings, but I have known people who will go seek out tarot readings for no particular reason. And I've never really understood that. I've never really understood why we would go seek out a reading if we don't really have a particular issue that we can put our finger on in our life, you know? So anyway, different strokes for different folks, I guess. But anyway, let's see here, the person that you're dealing with. Current person Scorpio's dealing with. Let's pull them apart a little bit, see if we can dissect their energy just a bit here. Okay, the star card could be an Aquarius that you're dealing with. Let's get 3 shuffles here. 1, 2, and 3. 5 of Wands reversed, Death reversed again. Okay. And there's the 6 of Swords again, too. Okay, so, could be a Capricorn. Got that Devil card down there. Some of you could be dealing with somebody who has some drug and alcohol problems, okay? Others of you could be dealing with somebody who's only interested in getting their sexual desires met. Either way, though, this is much more of a self-indulgent type of energy and much less of an actual connection, you know? I don't really think they want to put this to an end here, but it's getting to the point to where they feel kind of numb and they're not really taking this seriously anymore. Okay? Some of you can't really trust this person to be 100% honest with you. Okay, 7 of Swords and the Devil card right here. They don't want drama. They don't want to fight. They don't want an argument. Okay, but it's to the point to where they're not really wanting to look at things from any perspective other than their own. Okay. And okay, I get that. But if you absolutely refuse, now here's my thing. I'm going to just give you some personal Rich Lop stuff. Okay. This is all cards aside, outside of YouTube, just me as a general person. If I'm, engaging in conversation and we get to a point where our opinions clash and we're not agreeing on something, I will look at one main key point. Okay. If you have approached your perspective from multiple different viewpoints, okay, multiple different reference points, lots of research, and things of that nature, then, okay, I will respect your opinion and I'm much more likely to open my mind up and take a look at it. But if you come at me with just this no research, no particular evidence to back your opinion up, just this is your opinion just because it's your opinion for no particular reason, I don't really care what you have to say. You know what I mean? That's just like me. It's just like, oh, wow. So the thought process that led you to having this opinion isn't really all that thought out. I ain't listening to you. No, not really. And a lot of you are dealing with somebody who's very much like that. It refuses to look at things from different perspectives. And, when we don't do that, we can't bend and mold. We can't mold and flex. And if you're unable to bend and flex and mold, then you're not going to grow. You're not going to evolve. You're not going to move past whatever, plateau period you've reached. If you're too rigid and refuse to bend and flex and open your mind and things of that nature, it doesn't matter if it's a relationship. It doesn't matter what endeavor you are undertaking. You're not really going to get very far. So I think that's a big piece of the issue here, okay? Oh, well, let's take a look at the advice. What advice do we have for Scorpio and the current person? I haven't accidentally called you Taurus yet, have I? I hope not. I did that like 2 or 3 videos in a row. Everybody's like, which is it? Is it Scorpio or Taurus? My bad, y'all. I hope I haven't done that yet. Advice for Scorpio and the current person. Advice. Okay, the Knight of Cups in the reverse. All righty. Well, it's kind of looking like a no. Kind of looking like a no. Let's get 4 shuffles. 1, 2. 2 more shuffles. Here's the thing about the Knight of Cups, too. The Knight of Cups isn't a bad person, just a bit adolescent-minded when it comes to love. It's much more of a knight in shining armor, like, I'm here to save you. And as much as we would like that energy to work very well, it doesn't quite work that way. You can't save anybody, and nobody can save you. We can help each other. But keyword help. You have to be willing to put forth work and effort yourself as well, or else it's not going to go anywhere. Okay, but Knight of Cups, Knight of Wands, both in the reverse. 8 of Pentacles in the reverse. Don't put too much work and effort in if you're the only one doing it. If you're the only one doing it, and the other, if you're willing to bend and flex and evolve and open your mind and you know what I mean, step outside of your comfort zone to grow, and they're not, then doses. Okay. Don't commit yourself to something that if you're the only one willing to put forth the work and the effort, don't commit to that. Don't commit to that. That's not worth committing to. Okay. All righty. Well, let's take a look at the past person here. Past person Scorpio's dealing with. Okay. If you're not dealing with a past person, this is not your reading. Past person Scorpio's dealing with. Are the visuals okay here? On my end, the color tone looks a little funny. Am I coming through clear? Past person Scorpio's dealing with. 2 more shuffles here. 2 more. Oops. 2 more. Bam! The Emperor in the reverse could be an Aries that you're dealing with. Okay, the overall issue here, and that Devil card, it came up in the last in your advice spread in the reverse too. I didn't even mention it. Didn't really sound like it goes without saying, but that Devil card's coming up an awful lot. There's quite a few of you out there dealing with a Capricorn, okay? But even if you're not, it's still like we're moving away from connections that were self-indulgent, okay? And a lot of people do that and don't even realize it, okay? On a side note, that's it's very similar to emotional codependence, but it's much more intense. It's much further down that dark path of, at the end of the day, I need a relationship to fulfill my needs, you know? And at the end of the day, my emotional needs, my sexual desires, and all those things need to be met. And that's my number 1 priority, you know? And that's what I'm doing here. And that can very easily turn highly toxic very quick, okay? But the past person that you're dealing with here is still upset about this. And I do think that they're waiting. They're waiting to see if you're ever going to come back. Okay, right now, I think that they're out kind of dating around. All right, some of you could be dealing with somebody who's out playing the field, trying to get you off their mind, but I don't think they've let go of this at all. They're not coming forward, though, with the Knight of Cups and the Fool both reversed. They're not coming forward. They're not taking any action. Okay, but 5 of Cups, Queen of Cups, okay, they are still deep down inside. They are still in love with you, and they are still bummed out about this. But again, the overall issue, Emperor reversed, could have been a control issue, okay? I'm very familiar with how Scorpio energy works. It's fixed energy. And if you get, let's just say if there's any energy that tries to control a fixed sign, it doesn't usually mix very well, does it? Not really, especially those of you who are dealing with another fixed sign. That could very easily become like 2 bucks locking horns. It doesn't work too well. It doesn't. It's not a very good combination. So for some of you, obviously not everybody, this was an issue of two people wanting to control the show, two people wanting to run the show. Either way, though, this person hasn't quite moved on from this. They are still bummed out about this. They do still love you. They're waiting on if you'll ever come back or if you'll ever reach out, but they're not taking the initiative to do it themselves. Okay? So let's see what advice we have here. Advice for Scorpio and the past person, February 2021. Should you reach out? Should you not reach out? What do we got here? What should Scorpio do, if anything? If anything, let's see. Excuse me. Death in the reverse. See, the funny thing is whenever I'm reading for a specific sign and their card comes out as advice, especially in the reverse, that kind of sounds to me with the Scorpio card in the reverse like your advice is to step outside of your comfort zone. Okay, that's one thing that can be kind of difficult for fixed signs to do. But once you make your mind up and you actually do get that ball rolling, the advantage is with a fixed sign, it's really hard to stop that energy once it gets rolling, you know. So there's positives and negatives to everything, but it sounds like whatever advice you have, it's going to require you to step out of your comfort zone just a little bit here. Two more shuffles here, two more. Let's see what that is. What kind of advice is that? Do you need to reach out? Do you need to maybe apologize or what? What is it? I don't know yet. We'll see. Ba-boom. Strength in the reverse. Okay, the devil card again, dude. Lots of Capricorn energy in here. Lots of unhealthy energy in here, too. Okay, 6 of Cups reversed. All right, so it's very important right now. I wouldn't reach out until you relinquish the grudge. Okay? And come on now, we all know some of those, like every last one of us. I'm an Aquarius, so you know, of course, Aquarians get stamps on them. Every last one of us have these little personality traits that kind of put a stamp on our sign. You know, every last one of us does. I don't care who you are or what your sign is. And one of them things a Scorpio can be holding a grudge, can it? Yep. I got a stinger with your name on it, right? But it's really important to relinquish that. And I can't tell you exactly how to do that, but I can give you some pointers, okay? One of the things that always helps me let go of a grudge is not only do I look back on situations and figure out what I've learned from them and use those situations as learning experiences to learn and grow and help my career out here. Dude, where do you think I get all my advice from, man? From people who have screwed me over and what I've learned from that, you know? However, and stupid things that I've done and learned from. But have you ever heard me give my connect the dots analogy? Okay, I know a lot of you have heard this. I haven't talked about it in a while. I'm going to talk about my connect the dots analogy. Your life is like a connect the dots puzzle, okay? Every dot is an experience in your life, okay? It's really hard to tell what the picture is, but once you start connecting the dots, the picture becomes clear. Well, one of our worst habits as humans is we'll get to a dot, an experience in our life that's very painful. Right? And the first thing we want to do is, in one way, shape, form, or fashion, not accept that dot as part of the picture. So we'll try to erase it, skip over it, go around it, you know. And once we get later on into our adulthood, into our late 20s, early 30s, even our 40s and 50s, but we look back and the picture is incomplete. It doesn't look right. Okay? So it really helps to say, okay, now that dot sucked. It hurt. But you know what? I see how it fits into the puzzle. And I see how that experience connected to the next one, which brought me to the next one, which brought me to where I am today. And you know what? I may not agree with that dot. I may not agree with what happened. This doesn't mean that I am excusing morally wrong behavior, but I do accept that dot as part of the puzzle that makes me who I am and forms the picture of my life. And that right there, once you actually pop your eyes open and see it from that perspective, holding a grudge becomes kind of difficult because now you have this, this kind of cognitive dissonance thing going on where it's just like, okay, well, I see why that had to happen that way now. So now my grudge doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Now it's a matter of pride. Now it's a matter of pride. So at some point, you're going to have to come to a decision. Either A, no, never mind. I'm not accepting that dot. I have to hold this grudge. Or I have to let that grudge go. Because one of the things that I've learned on my journey, y'all, is everybody that I thought was screwing me over and doing me wrong was setting me up for success. It's all a matter on how you choose to perceive it. Okay? All a matter on how you choose to perceive it. So that's what I would do. I wouldn't reach out, or I wouldn't attempt to make any kind of contact until we start off down that path of forgiveness. Okay? And it's possible. It can be a tricky process sometimes, but it is possible. Okay? All right. So we've done current person, past person. Now let's do new person. Okay? Ooh, speaking of new person, a lot of you have something new coming in here. So if you're not interested in or dealing with a new person, this is not for you. Boom, 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 boom. Let's see. Scorpio's dealing with a new person here. Two of Swords. Okay. I've been seeing that a lot, man. A lot of signs have been having this for new energy coming in. This reluctance. This, I don't know, man. Let me think about this. You know? So let's see here. 4 shuffles. 1, 2, 2 more. But boom, Queen of Swords reversed. Ace of Pentacles, High Priestess, Emperor. Okay. All right. Okay. Very interesting. A lot of back and forth, push-pull energy. Another thing that's been coming up for lots of different signs collectively. It's always interesting to look at some of the similarities between these readings and seeing how we're all kind of interconnected and kind of respond similarly. As much as our zodiac signs, we like to categorize ourselves and look at how different we are. And it's very interesting to see how similar we all are too. This is something that I've noticed, you know. But there is a lot of back and forth, push-pull energy. Some of you could be dealing with somebody who appears to have a bit of an attitude problem, okay? This person could be kind of sharp-tongued and a little bit harsh when they communicate. It's moving kind of slow, though, and I really think there's a lot of energy here that just feels very unsure. So, am I wasting my time? Are you going to waste my time? You know, or is this going to be same thing I've been through before? You know, same old story, same old song and dance. Is that what's going to happen? I do think that it's going to be a slow rolling ball, but eventually, I do feel like you all will pick up the pace and move forward together without putting this to an end. This is a brand new cycle. Okay. And I know I say that a lot, and that's come up several times here recently, but when we talk about new cycles, what we're talking about is all new things, okay? New cycle doesn't just mean new relationship, okay? You know that, right? Because if we need to repeat a cycle, universe doesn't give a damn if we repeat it with the same person or just a vibrational complement to a past person. How many of you have been there and done that? You know, you repeat a cycle with one person, get with somebody else, and it seems like you just repeat the same damn cycle with a new person. Move on to somebody else, and I'll be damned if you don't do the inner work and change frequencies. Same cycle, it's just like same demon, different person. It's like, what in the world? So now I think this is a brand new cycle, okay, a brand new one. And again, that does involve people that you never really thought you would associate with, okay? I have said this, and I will say this till the cows come home, y'all. The most valuable, important opportunities that will ever present themselves to you will be unexpected. Every time. Every time. And it has to be that way if you think about it. Because if we can expect it, if we can plan for it, we're using a faculty within us that is a composite of things that we've learned in the past. Right? Nothing that we have learned in the past is sufficient enough to bring us something we've never experienced, or we would already have it. That's among many reasons that I don't really have time to break down right now. That is one of the many, many reasons why the best things that will ever happen to you will be very unexpected. They'll come from unexpected places at an unexpected time, from unexpected people. And one of the biggest mistakes that we have is that there's two types of manifestations, okay? I got to wrap it up with this, okay? Forgive me for babbling, but I got to put this out there. There's two types of manifestations, A type and B type. A type manifestations are those things that most of us will manifest many times throughout our life. And even before we ever get a chance to do it for the first time, there's usually somebody around us that can walk us through the process, like a car or getting a job or a house, Those are A-type manifestations, okay? And you can plan for that. Somebody can even sit down and write a rule book down step by step as to how to manifest one of these things. B-type manifestations, though, are those big things, that big thing that you've never experienced. And more than likely, very few, if anybody around you has experienced this either, okay? So one of our biggest mistakes is we try to use A-type strategies for B-type manifestations. It doesn't work that way. A-type strategies, are step by step by step, things that have been categorized and logged in the past. B-type manifestations is something you've never experienced. So having said that, I do think that's what this is here for a lot of you. It's something new, it's unexpected, it's a little bit weird, and it's got you up in your head a little bit. It's got you up in your head a little bit, man. All right, what advice do we have? Advice for Scorpio and the new person. Advice for Scorpio and the new person. Let's see. Appreciate you for tuning in. Thank you all for the positive feedback too. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you all. Let's see here. What advice do we have? Okay. Oh, the death card. I see. What did I just say about your card coming out as advice? Okay. So this is going to have multiple different meanings. First of all, this is the Scorpio card. It's in the upright this time. So I take that to mean it's very important to make sure that you are the highest vibrational version of yourself that you can be. Okay. See, a lot of us, we like to use our astrological energies as excuses for our bad behavior or things of that nature. But when you vibrate higher than your Scorpio energy, now the real you, which is the person behind the mask, can take Scorpio energy and you can use it to your advantage. When you vibrate lower than your astrological energy, your energies are pulling you around and using you, right? Haven't you ever noticed that people who don't believe in astrology are always the textbook version of their sign? Have you ever noticed that? You ever noticed that? Also, too, this means it is time to allow your old cycle to come to an end. Don't allow yourself to slip back into old cycles. Okay? Two more shuffles here. Two more. Boom, the 9 of Cups. Yeah. You know what that means. You know what that means. Okay? It's very important to find and maintain to the best of your ability emotional independence and integrity. Okay? It's no accident that the 9 of Cups, which is the card of emotional independence, is one card away from the 10 of Cups, that perfect, happy relationship. Okay, they're side by side for a reason. Okay, and I'm not going to dig up the entire can of worms, but it is very important. I think I was just telling either Libra or Virgo earlier. I forget which one I was telling, but it's the same thing. The ability to fulfill yourself comes in handy. This doesn't mean that you just go off and be alone and don't, depend on anybody ever. What this means is on those rainy days when there's nobody around to support you, there's no shoulder to lean on, there's no ear to listen to, you ain't got nobody, nobody's there for you. We're going to have those rainy days and they suck. But if you have the ability to fulfill yourself emotionally and get yourself back up on your own feet, that's a very handy tool. And it is mandatory in any connection, okay? So it's very important too, if you're headed towards a path to success, do the best you can not to focus on failure. Okay, it's hard to do. It's hard to do. Even me, I have to catch myself all the time. This is what I want, but I'm focusing on everything that I don't want. That's dangerous. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. And last but not least, it's very important not to ignore or run away from negative, painful energy as far as any emotional trauma that you've experienced in any previous past connections. Okay. That's one of it seems like there's two different types of people. Okay. And I'll be the first to admit I've done both of them. Okay. Something bad happens to you, like, you have a bad experience in a relationship and you run straight to another person, right? To make you feel better, cover it up. And you got that kind of person, and you have the type of person that just goes off by themselves and suffers in silence and just waits until one day they wake up and it doesn't hurt anymore. Okay. Both are equally wrong. Okay. Emotional healing requires work. It's an energy transmutation process that requires conscious effort. It's not like cutting your hand. Cutting your hand, what do? You wrap it up and you wait, as if that healing is just happening to you. Well, no, that's still the intelligent energy that makes up you healing your hand. But that's not the way psychological, emotional, and spiritual healing work. Okay, that's your subconscious intelligence. But your emotional healing does require conscious effort. Okay, you have to take that energy, you have to dig it up, you have to rip it apart, you have to flip it inside out and see how you can use it for fuel. Okay, it can be a process, and it's not always a fun process, but just because it's difficult doesn't make it impossible. All right. Anywho, I feel like your all's messages have come through now. Thank you all so much for tuning in and playing along. I greatly appreciate all the positive feedback. Every time I look up here, all I see is, positive comments, and I love it, man. I appreciate it. Remember to look in the description of the video if you would like information on scheduling a personal reading. But other than that, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Thanks again for tuning in and showing love, y'all. I'll see you sometime between now and the rest of all eternity. Y'all have a good day.